Maybe this feels familiar. You keep telling yourself you're done waiting, done hoping, done checking her profile at 2 a.m. just to see if she posted something that might secretly be about you. But even when you try to move on, there's this one thought that keeps circling back. What if she still thinks about me? What if she comes back when I finally stop caring? If this is you, you're probably exhausted from living in two worlds. One where you've accepted she's gone, and another where you're still replaying the last moment you had together, wondering if there was something you missed. Maybe you try to distract yourself, talk to friends, pretend you're fine. But late at night, when the world quiets down, that one memory hits you like a punch to the chest, the way she looked at you once, the way she used to say your name, the version of you that only she seemed to understand. And maybe you're not even hoping for a fairy tale. You just want clarity. You just want one sign that she hasn't completely erased you, that you weren't just a chapter she closed without thinking twice. Some days you feel strong, like you're finally getting over her. Other days, a small reminder, her favorite song, a place you once went, pulls you right back into the same unanswered questions. And here's the part that hurts the most. You don't know if waiting makes you loyal or foolish. You don't know if letting go means healing or giving up too early, so before you give up on her ever coming back, let me ask you something that might change the way you see everything. What if the moment you're about to walk away is the exact moment she finally begins to feel your absence? Most men get this part all wrong because they react from emotion, not intention. They panic the moment she pulls away. They think distance means failure. They think silence means she's gone forever. But a man grounded in himself understands something deeper. Connection doesn't disappear just because communication stops. The bond you built doesn't vanish overnight. And neither does her curiosity about you. If this is hitting you right now, it's because you've been trying to fix the situation instead of understanding it. You've been wondering what to text, what to post, what move to make that might pull her back in. But here's the truth most guys never hear. When you chase her emotional storm with your own, you make the separation worse. What she needs in that moment is the opposite of what you've been giving. She needs to feel your steadiness, not your desperation. A core masculine principle is emotional sovereignty. That means you don't let someone else's uncertainty destroy your center. You don't collapse just because she stepped back. You stay grounded, composed, and aligned with the man you're becoming, not the man who's terrified of losing her. Another principle is non-reactivity. When you stop reacting to every shift in her mood, every delay in her replies, every sign you interpret as danger, something powerful happens. She feels the space to miss you on her own terms. This isn't about pretending not to care. It's about not collapsing into fear. When you stand firm, you give her something most men can't, a sense of safety. And when a woman feels safe with you, even in distance, she never walks away for long. So before you give up on her coming back, ask yourself one thing. Are you losing her? Or just losing the version of yourself that never learned to stand still in the storm? It's late, the kind of late where the world feels paused, where even the streetlights seem tired. You're standing at your window, phone face down on the table behind you, because you're tired of looking at it. But you can't quite walk away from it either. Outside, a quiet breeze moves through the empty street, and it reminds you of a night months ago when she stood beside you laughing at something you don't even remember now. You only remember the sound, soft, warm, like it came from a place meant only for you. You close your eyes for a second just to breathe, but suddenly the memories hit like a slow wave. The way she leaned into you, the way her hand fit in yours, the way she looked up at you, like she trusted every part of who you were. Somewhere deep inside, something whispers, how did it fall apart? Was there a moment I missed? A sign I didn't see? Your phone lights up for a split second and your heart jumps, only to realize it's nothing, just a notification you don't care about, but the reaction is still there. That tiny spark of hope you pretend you don't have. You run a hand through your hair. Frustrated at yourself for still feeling this much, you sit down, elbows on your knees, staring at the floor like it might offer answers. The silence feels heavier than usual. It's the kind of silence that makes you remember the night she walked away, the way she paused for half a second, as if part of her wanted you to stop her. And ever since that moment, you've been living in a strange in-between, not together, not completely apart. A car passes outside, its headlights flashing through your room. For a moment, it feels like time gives you a glimpse of something, the version of her who once looked at you with certainty, and the version of you who believed that certainty would last. And in that quiet, with nothing but your heartbeat filling the room, a single question rises from the part of you that still remembers what it felt like to be chosen. What if she hasn't let go? She just hasn't found her way back yet. A lot of men carry beliefs that were never theirs to begin with, beliefs shaped by fear, rejection, and the stories their mind tells in the dark. And before you give up on her coming back, you need to understand something. Most of the pain you're feeling isn't coming from her absence, it's coming from the lies you've been repeating to yourself. The first false belief is this: if she cared, she wouldn't have left. That sounds logical, but it's not true. People pull away for reasons that have nothing to do with your worth. Overwhelm, timing, emotional confusion, old wounds that get triggered when things get too real. Her stepping back wasn't a verdict on you. It was a reflection of where she was internally, but when you interpret her distance as rejection, you collapse into insecurity. She didn't reject you. She retreated from her own uncertainty. The second belief men fall for is, if I don't act fast, I'll lose her forever. This belief turns you into a panicked version of yourself, texting more, over-explaining, trying to fix things she doesn't even know how to explain yet. But attraction doesn't die that easily. Connection doesn't evaporate because a few days of silence passed. Women don't forget a man who impacted them deeply. What actually pushes them away is pressure. When you rush, you lose your center. When you lose your center, you stop being the man she trusted in the first place. She didn't ghost you. You disappeared from yourself. And the third belief, the one that silently destroys you, is, if she comes back, it means I won. No, that's not masculine. That's insecurity wearing armor. Her return isn't a trophy. Her return is only meaningful if you've grown into someone who doesn't need her presence to feel whole. If she comes back to the same version of you, the cycle repeats. But if she returns to a man who has regained his strength, his clarity, his self-respect, everything changes. Her absence isn't a punishment. It's a mirror. You don't need to chase her. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to collapse every time she steps away. What you need is to challenge the beliefs that made you think love is something you must grip tightly to avoid losing. Before you give up on her coming back, ask yourself this: are you walking away because she's truly gone, or because the beliefs you carry never let you see what's actually possible? The 1% headman thinks differently from the moment she pulls away. He doesn't panic, he doesn't spiral, he doesn't start questioning his worth just because her emotions shifted. This is what he understands. Her distance isn't a command, it's information, and information doesn't scare a grounded man. It guides him where most men chase answers. He builds clarity. Where most men try to pull her closer, he creates space for himself. This is the mindset shift. He knows connection is strongest when it's not forced. He doesn't rush to fix what he didn't break. He doesn't abandon himself just to hold on to her. This is how he leads with presence, not pressure. He stays rooted in who he is becoming. He keeps his emotional center steady even when hers is scattered. He understands that a woman doesn't come back because you chase her. She comes back when your energy feels safe, solid, and self-led. The 1% headman doesn't measure his value by how quickly she returns. He measures it by how deeply he refuses to collapse. He trusts timing. He trusts attraction. But more than anything, he trusts himself. Before you give up on her coming back, remember this: a man who doesn't abandon himself is never truly abandoned. It happens in a moment so small you almost miss it. You're sitting alone, scrolling through old messages you swore you wouldn't look at again. Your chest feels tight, your mind scattered, your heart heavy with the questions you've been carrying for weeks. But then, something shifts. Not outside you. Inside. You pause. Your thumb stops moving. Your breath slows. And suddenly, you see yourself the way you haven't in a long time. A man who gave, who tried, who cared deeply. Maybe more deeply than she ever realized, you feel the weight of the waiting, the hoping, the second guessing. And for the first time, it doesn't feel romantic. It feels costly. You lean back, eyes drifting to the ceiling, as a quiet truth rises. You've been holding on to the idea of her coming back, but somewhere along the way, you walked away from yourself. In that stillness, a different kind of strength appears. Not loud, not angry, just clear. You remember the version of you that existed before heartbreak made you doubt your own worth. The man who had dreams, direction, gravity in his presence. And you realize something sacred. You don't need her to return to feel whole. It's like a door opens in your mind, not the door she left through, but the door you forgot you had, the one that leads back to your own life. And in that instant, you stop waiting, not because you've given up on her, but because you finally stopped giving up on yourself. Maybe she will come back, maybe she won't, but the truth you've been avoiding is this. Her return was never the thing that was supposed to save you. What saves you is the moment you stop waiting for her to choose you and start choosing yourself again. You don't have to shut the door on her, you just have to open the one inside you that's been closed for far too long. Because when a man rises back into his worth, he stops fearing what leaves and starts attracting what's meant to stay. Sometimes she comes back the moment you stop abandoning yourself.